What's going on, everybody? You all are checking out an all new Wrestling with the Topics. Lee and Tammy Sanders with you guys for this Wednesday of November 20th, 2024. I definitely want to make sure we got the audio check going on nice and strong, making sure you guys are able to hear us good because last thing we need is technical difficulties. What's going on with you guys? I hope you all's week is off to a fantastic start as our 13th anniversary celebration continues. What the hell? Oh, that's the Bluetooth. I was like, what the hell is that? Like, I was like, what's going on here? I was like, what's that weird thing I'm hearing? I'm hearing a little bit of reverb. Help me out. I want to check in real quick just to make sure everybody's able to hear the stream pretty good.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? Happy early Thanksgiving. I doubt we'll be doing a show next week in reference to that Thanksgiving holiday. You never know, we might surprise you. But happy holidays, guys. Be thankful for what you have, family, friends, whatever it is that you should that you have in your life that you want to be thankful for. Please make sure that you hug that other person extra tight. And always say thank you and I appreciate you. It does go a long way.
I would agree with that 1,000%. Audio sounds fantastic, by the way. Just making sure everything was streaming pretty good on all the outlets. We're good to go. Sometimes I forget that final stage, which is add to stage. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget, but I'm batting a really good average. I would say for like every 30 times, there's 2 that slip. But I'm on top of it these days, so I'm doing a lot.
Yes,
I'm doing a lot better.
No, repeat.
No. Hey, so our 13th anniversary celebration of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders continues with this episode of Wrestling with the Topics. By the way, shout out to everybody that had checked out the 13th anniversary show Monday night. If you did not get a chance to check it out, I highly recommend you go check out the version that is on social media right now. We got the webcast version of the show that had included a live watch along for WWE Raw, and then we did the regular show after that. So that was about a almost 4-hour show, give or take. But for on demand and downloads, our audio listeners, they just got the regular show. So hopefully they'll feel a little more enticed.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we're doing it. You were talking about the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, and as far as surprises goes at our end, I am putting together the omnibus of the Vince McMahon documentary. I've been working on it off and on, and I was supposed to release it a long time ago, but it was one of those deals where I said, well, why rush? Why not just wait until it gets closer to the holiday season? We need content. Might as well put it out then. So for those of you, don't think I forgot, because I didn't, but that's when we're going to release it. So for you audio lovers out there, especially those of you that's going to be traveling, seeing your loved ones and everything, I know usually some folks find themselves in a position where, okay, now's a good time. I haven't listened to this podcast in a while. I want to catch up, or hey, I haven't checked out this audiobook. They're traveling, so I figure, okay, you know what, Thanksgiving week, that's a good time to drop some stuff on them and everything. So be on the lookout for that. I'm also gonna go into the vault and see what else potentially I may have been sitting on, and try to see if I can get that out there for you guys. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff that we got going on behind the scenes. And yeah, I can't believe that it's been 13 years already from doing this show, and I had revealed some very interesting info that might raise an eyebrow from you in regards to the future of the show. I alluded to the fact that I don't see myself doing this show when I'm in my 70s. I said that I was having a hard time picturing myself doing this show in my 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as what I would definitely be willing to commit to right now, I admitted that I definitely saw myself doing the show into my 50s for sure. But
Oh yeah.
I don't want to overstay my welcome. That was my main concern, right? That was my main concern. And some people that hear that, they may go, well, Lee, it's not like you're getting into the ring. It's not like, you're getting in front of a camera and you're calling a match or interviewing a wrestler and all of that. Like, all you're doing is, you're really behind the microphone there. And yeah, you're able to provide fun, colorful analysis, great takeaways and stuff. But surely you can consider going, and it's just kind of one of those, I want to know when, especially, last thing I want to do is be in a position where somebody goes, man, that Lee Sanders, man, if you would have been listening 15, 20 years ago, and then it's like, yeah, he's nowhere near where he once used to. I don't want to be in that kind of position.
Well, I think it's all about evolution. When you stop growing in the things that you're doing, and you become stagnant, maybe at that point it's time to look at it. But at this point, you're still growing, you're still learning, the product is still fresh, in reference to what you're covering, also, your product. So I think it's kind of an evaluation year by year and see, where life has taken you, what's going on, and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Tams alluded to Thanksgiving at the start there, but yeah, are you guys ready? Because literally, Thanksgiving is next week. I hope you guys have put forth.
Literally next week.
Yeah, I really hope you guys got like that itinerary plan together. I was chatting with some classmates a few days ago, and some of my classmates are doing a Friendsgiving.
I've heard that. That's become very
It's
popular.
become very popular.
Mhm.
And for my classmates, particularly, they're looking to avoid the talk of politics altogether, which is one of the main reasons why they're doing a Friendsgiving, is because they don't want to be with the family at the table this holiday season.
Awkward.
Yeah, because they know politics is gonna be, and in one case of a classmate of mine, they said, look, even if I don't bring up the topic of politics,
Mhm.
guaranteed it's going to
It's coming.
find its way to the table, because some of my family members are very outspoken, and I just don't want to be in that position where I'm going to say something I'm going to regret. So let me just eliminate myself from the picture right now, and y'all can just have at it, and we'll see what happens the following year, depending on what I hear goes down with this year's Thanksgiving. So very interesting how some people are operating. Then there's some that's just treating it like a typical day, nothing special. And hey, I mean, more power to you and everything. But speaking of food, speaking of food, did you hear about this? The McRib
Ugh.
sandwich from McDonald's is coming back for a
Again,
limited time.
for the, I don't know, 15th time.
Well, they're saying this go round that they listened to consumers in regards to the last time it was brought back, and basically they've tweaked the recipe of it a bit to try to capture how it was from what we remember when it was first introduced. So you're going, okay, because I gotta admit, that last time we had that McRib,
It sucked.
that McRib sucked. I remember when Michael Jordan used to promote. I still remember the commercials and everything.
Yep.
And yeah, that McRib sandwich the last time, because we had it around this time last year, and that thing was nothing to write home about. Yeah, I mean, that thing was just straight up nasty. All right, straight up nasty. And then on top of the McRib coming back, McDonald's is apparently, now this is an online deal, y'all. Online. Don't ask me how this works, but from what I understand, online is how you'll be able to do this. For those of you interested in purchasing the McRib sauce, that will be available on McDonald's website for $20. Now, why they're not making it available at the store, I have the slightest freaking.
That's probably a trial.
Because think about, but then again, think about that. You're coming through drive-through, and you're like, yeah, let me get a quarter pounder with cheese meal. I'll take that with a medium fried. Let me get an apple pie. Get a couple of them chocolate chip cookies. And let me get three of those big old jars of MCRIB sauce. Right, and I'm just picturing when that window opens up. I'm just picturing when that window door opens up and a big ass jugs comes through. So that is probably why it's only going to be made available online. Otherwise, you could do a situation where, oh yeah, for that you have to come inside the store, right?
Or they're doing a trial run to see how well it's going to sell.
Could be.
And then if it does really well, then they can do kind of like that Chick-fil-A. I mean, you guys already know that there are Chick-fil-A sauces and stuff that's actually available at your local grocery store. I myself have the avocado ranch sauce from Chick-fil-A in the house right now. But I have a feeling that's kind of like, yeah, let's see how it does on our website.
Right.
And then we'll go from there.
You're right.
Versus just hoarding it through the window.
Right. Yeah, just I mean, look, I appreciate them. I guess
are you
this
gonna
is
so
maybe,
my question to you, are you gonna try it?
Which one? Or both? What?
Well, you're gonna have to try it because it's gonna be on the sandwich. So are you gonna try the McRib sandwich?
I'll try it again, since maybe the second time or third. I don't know how long this thing has kept resurfacing. I just know if I were to try it again, for me personally, it would be my second time trying the sandwich. So yes, I will try the sandwich again, and I will actually do a YouTube short. I will do a YouTube short of me trying the McRib sandwich. And I will give you guys the verdict on whether or not that is something y'all should check out. I'll let you know if they captured that trademark recipe from back in the 90s and all that. Like, I'll be straight up honest with you guys. But it's interesting. And I want to say this real quick, because I like being on top of when the comments come in real time. To Byron in the chat, I understand the news about the video game stuff. Sadly, stuff like that, the last thing I want to do is put Tammy in a position where she doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, she's a casual gamer, but she's not a hardcore gamer like that. So I'd hate to put her in a position where I'm talking about something that she can't really chime in on. She doesn't really have any knowledge about that. So that particular thing, that's more along the lines of the RCWR show on Monday nights, where I if you listen to enough of the Monday night shows, Byron, when it comes to gaming stuff, I usually talk gaming stuff. Matter of fact, I just talked about, to the point from Monday night show, I just talked about WWE Supercard season 11, and I was talking about how the new game mode that they got out right now, something called Boom. And basically you have to string together consecutive wins. And in the process of that, you get access to winning cards of a random tier. And the more victories you can string together consecutively, the higher the odds and quality of acquiring better cards, right, of a higher tier. And I was talking about how I gave my recommendations as far as, look, you guys should try to go for this deck, because otherwise you're going to be finding yourself to be in a frustrating position as far as advancing and all that good stuff. So
but Byron, he's got you on Monday.
I got you on Monday, Byron. Yeah, and that goes to anybody. Like, when it comes to the talk of video games, you really want to go to the Monday show. And then even at that, I need you guys to also remember this. Tabby will confirm this. It is hard for me to sit down and play a video game. And I really want people to understand that. It has nothing to do with my age, as I'm turning 44, right? Yes, 44,
Yes.
44 next month. Has nothing to do with my age. I'm just personally, and this is actually a good segue because I did not, I know what we're supposed to, I got the bullet points in my head, but it's kind of a nice smooth transition and everything. But I'm at a point right now where I'm in so many directions: education with my classes, you know, uh, doing stuff behind the scenes, marking out my career path, trying to get in quality time with the wifey, trying to get in quality time with our 3 furry daughters. Like, by the time I'm done with all that, it's like, oh, I'm spent. And it's like, okay, so now what are we going to do? So,
So yeah, how long have you had that meta thing yet?
to the point, I literally was getting ready to mention that.
Mhm.
I bought that MetaQuest VR set about almost 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
And other than the initial time that I turned it on, and me and Tams was just going back and forth. Oh, wow, this is cool. Like, I never played a game. I've got the new Batman game on there ready to go because I bought it as part of a deluxe set. I still have not played it. I keep going, oh, there's access to free NBA games that I can watch on Fridays. I try to motivate myself to, hey, sit down on a Friday night, watch a NBA game on the VR set. I'm like doing other stuff. I just downloaded this new video game that it's new to me because I never played it before. But I downloaded this video game, what was it, last week or maybe almost a week and a half ago, because I somehow came across it online in the Xbox Marketplace. I think the game is called Stray, and it's this really cool story about this cat. You play the main character; it's a cat.
Oh yes, you talked
And
about
it's
that.
from a third person perspective and all that. You're in this weird cybernetic world, all that crazy stuff. Saw the game, images, little trailers, gameplay. I say, wow, this looks pretty innovative. This looks really, really fresh. I like that. Because nowadays, I'm not interested in just playing any old video game. I want to play something that, okay, you know what? Creativity wise, innovation wise, that looks, because I get bored real quick with, don't get me a shooter game. You could tell me till you're blue in the face, Lee, this shooter game, this new, like I've played
Yeah,
them all.
I was gonna say I haven't seen you play one of those in
Yeah,
a long time.
yeah. Nowadays I like being mentally, I like being mentally stimulated. I like being challenged.
Mhm.
And that Stray game looked, I haven't played that yet. So, you know, tablet games like WWE Supercard, yeah, sure. Tetris, word puzzle games, I'm in between, commuter, whatever. Yes, no problem. I can do that. But I couldn't tell you what the fuck is going on with the Gears of War franchise. I couldn't tell you what's going on with the Call of Duty franchise. I can't tell you. So please don't look at me as your source for all things, video games. I'm not Adam Sessler, but if it's one of those cases where like there's a lot of people that's talking about XYZ, I'll at least pay it forward, do the research, find out what everybody's talking about, why is it a big deal, and I'll definitely bring it up that way and all that. But yo, as far as the McRib, going back to that, yes, I will definitely try that. But here's the thing, going back to that, because it's more of a bigger picture and everything here. In regards to just McDonald's in general, and I'm curious how everybody is kind of holding up here, but ever since that whole onion scare from McDonald's a few weeks ago, how are y'all holding up? Seriously, because for me, and I've been noticing this more and more because one of my side hustles is as a gig driver. And sometimes I'm delivering auto parts, I'm delivering medical equipment, a lot of times I'm delivering food. I've been noticing in regards to McDonald's orders since I've been out there on the road, the usual burgers that comes from McDonald's that's got the onions on it for sure. I've been noticing a significant spike in people going with a chicken sandwich, or they're going with the nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
or they're just going with fries and a drink, or maybe a dessert and a drink. How are you guys holding up in general? Because I can only talk about what I've been noticing now here in the metropolitan area, but are you guys a bit on the fence about going back and trying any type of dish from McDonald's? Or are you kind of like some of the people that I'm noticing where, yeah, I'm gonna do McDonald's. I'm not gonna do whatever's got the onions on it.
So I can tell you from me, I guess in what you've noticed, this is a question, but then I'll get to what I can say about for myself.
Mhm.
Do you notice people going with other franchises for burgers?
Yes, actually. Now that you mention that, I used to see, like, I would say almost 90% of my shifts each time I would go out would involve McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were to just sit down and just do a final tally of, okay, most of my money on this night, it came from this joint.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a time where it was McDonald's, but ever since the onion scare,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's now Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not Wendy's, it's
Burger.
either no, surprisingly, it's seldom I get a Burger King order.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, it is extremely seldom I get a Burger King order. A Burger King order, like if I were to just out of a whole month,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be lucky if I got Burger King twice.
Okay.
But if it's not Wendy's, I'm
Mhm.
noticing it is Checkers.
Okay.
And if it's not
Checkers.
Checkers,
Mm-hmm.
it is Sheets or Wawa.
Okay.
It's Sheets or
Which
Wawa.
actually, the funny thing is, we actually over the weekend, Lee actually had a Wawa burger, and
Yeah.
he generally in our neck of the woods, so our Wawas are pretty decent in reference to food. But getting back on topic, in reference to me for McDonald's, I kind of went through that phase myself. Okay, well, if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm getting the chicken nuggets or a chicken sandwich or anything but a burger with onions on it.
Mhm.
And the funny thing is, I was actually in one of our Virginia locations for work, and there's a couple of options for you there. One of them is McDonald's, the other one is Subway. And the only reason that I went with McDonald's is because it's fast and it's a short turnaround for a lunch break because I had to go to the bank. And I'm sitting there going through the drive-through thinking about what I should order, because really, for me, ever since the scare, it's kind of like McDonald's. No, next. And so I'm sitting there going, okay, you know what? It wasn't in this area that I'm in right now. It's been a little bit. Okay. And I didn't get a quarter pounder. I got another burger. And I thought, well, and it was almost like, well, okay. But to be honest with you, we used to go to McDonald's a lot in the Sanders household. We have scaled that back by 90%.
And this was way before the onion scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have scaled back quite a bit on that fast food.
Because let's be transparent. The main reason why we scaled back on McDonald's, one, it's not really healthy.
Right. And it's not necessarily cost effective.
Right. And but then the other thing, the quality of the food has diminished. I remember one of the most recent times we had tried their breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
And man, did that taste so goddamn processed? Did it taste so? It's like they didn't even try to cook it at the proper temperature for the correct amount of time. Seriously, there used to be a time. People remember this. That's been going to McDonald's long enough. There used to be a time where you would go, "Hey, look, don't sleep on the McDonald's breakfast. The McDonald's breakfast. That's what it's all about. It's the McDonald's breakfast." And that was just man. And so add that on top of some crappy experiences, eating the lunch, like if I could say anything positive about McDonald's, the past 2 times in the past several weeks that I had the new chicken Big Mac, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the chicken Big Mac. I do recommend that, by the way. If you guys haven't tried it yet.
Somehow, I always when when I get the remaining half of it, it's always cold, so it's decent chilled. but but I can second that, because let me tell you something. Even 5 years ago, and certainly 10, if you didn't want to cook all of that and you wanted some eggs and sausage and what have you, that's where you went. That's where you went, and it was decent.
Yeah.
Not,
You know,
it's okay now, but
it's funny you mention that, because I'm reminded when I was a much younger man in my early 20s, and I was living out in Silver Spring, Maryland. On weekends, I had to catch a bus and a train and another bus to get to work in Van Ness, DC. And I used to visit a McDonald's that was right next door to a 7-Eleven.
I
And
know exactly where it is.
okay, and normally I would either go to the 7-Eleven and I would get an apple fritter or a cup of coffee, or I would go to that McDonald's that was next door. I would sit down, have a cup of coffee and a big breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you, the big breakfast back then, I mean, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was good.
Good.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
They cooked it right. I mean, now, like, if you were to ask me, Lee, what do you think has changed? Like, what's the impression you're kind of getting? I'm kind of getting the impression that the stuff is now arriving
Mm-hmm.
frozen.
Mm-hmm. I'm being reheated there,
Right.
versus cooked there.
Right. Because just to prove my point, when I did security, God, what's it been now? Maybe almost 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I last did security, I did security at a mall, and there were McDonald's employees that would come in around, I would say, 2 o'clock in the morning, and they would actually start making breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to talk with them and everything. And the only thing that would be frozen would be the sausage meat patties.
Oh, okay.
Would be the sausage meat patties,
Mhm.
and yes, the hash browns. I would watch them, put the hash browns, basically defrost them. I would watch them do that. The biscuits, I would watch them pull that out. Everything was put out. I never saw them make anything fresh. Everything was put out overnight so that it could defrost properly.
Mhm.
And then, versus, I think the way that they're doing it today,
Mhm.
it's just straight up frozen, and rather than defrost, they're just
So then that brings a really valid point. So in the Sanders household, Lee does not like frozen beef in anything. He would rather get it from the store and cook it there. And the funny thing is, I never noticed it until he mentioned something about it. He's like, "Oh, you made this with something that was frozen from the freezer, right?" I was like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He's like, "Oh, I can taste it." And you don't really realize, because you've just been doing it that way for so many years. And then when I did it and I made sure that it was fresh and it was, was straight from the store, you can taste the difference. Generally the taste is much more rubbery.
Yes, exactly. So, but I'm curious what's going on with you guys. Have you pieced out on McDonald's? You're going elsewhere? Sound off. Let us know during this holiday season, because officially this is the end game now of 2024, with the holiday season being here. And with that comes challenges, as well as a friendly reminder. And I shared this all throughout social media. You got to be on top of those scams that's out there.
Yeah.
I literally was minding my own business yesterday, and I had received this weird text message. And I shared it throughout social media, but basically, I got this text message from this some random number that basically was telling me the United States Postal Service parcel.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too last week.
Yeah, due to a detection of an invalid zip code
Mhm.
address, the parcel could not be cleared.
Mhm.
The parcel is temporarily detained. Please
Mhm.
confirm the zip code, address information in the link within 24 hours.
Scam.
Scam, scam, scam. And for those of you that's like, well, I do have a
No.
package.
Check with the people that sent it first.
Right. Go directly. Don't be clicking on no weird links sent to you in a text message or in an email. Like
Nope.
that. First of all, they'll never contact you. Like they will never contact you. And I just feel bad because there's so many people. You would think, it's 2024. No, believe it or
No.
not, there's a lot of people that fall victim to that
Yeah.
shit.
No.
There's a lot of people that fall victim to that shit.
They fall victim to it because it's ever changing.
Yeah.
What was last week's scam is maybe not this week's scam.
Right.
So it's like, oh, well, maybe they don't know about it yet. And they're just like, oh, well, yeah, everything comes through text message these days, and there was actually a couple things. One that happened a couple of weeks ago, well, about a couple of months ago. And this particular text message that I got was like, oh, hey, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, they must have the wrong number. So you're just being polite and telling them they have the wrong number. And then they strike up a conversation. Okay, well, that's nice. And then they start asking you personal questions. Like, where do you live? And like, why the hell do they need to know that?
Right.
So after about question number 2, I obviously never answering any of that, and being very vague, obviously you block them. But that's just, one. The other one was today. I got a text message stating that there's some leads in the area in reference to a job or something. And I'm like, okay, that just sounds weird in the way it was worded. So I just blocked it. But you just never know. So always be cautious in reference to numbers you don't know, and answering any information that you feel that shouldn't be answered through a text message. Always go to the person directly.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, block. Save yourself, save your personal information, all that.
I second that emotion, but I'm chuckling because I'm also reminded when the text message and or email begins with "Hi dear," that should be a red flag right there. Like, wait a minute, who the hell is calling me dear? And this ain't in my saved contacts,
Right?
And you're like, "Hi dear," and then you want to talk about, hey, your tracking number, we couldn't mail it to you. You need to like, and you're saying you're kicking things off with "Hi dear." Like, you can miss me with all that, homie. Make whatever arrangements too you can make with a next door neighbor as far as intercepting your packages when you're not going to be around. Be willing to I don't look, maybe they're willing to do it for you on the house, or maybe they'll do it for you if you just give them a couple of dollars or whatever. But it goes a long ways because this is that time of the season where porch piracy skyrockets. Skyrockets like a mofo. So if you can't have a neighbor oversee your stuff, have it delivered to your place of work if your boss doesn't mind it.
So I have a story about that.
Uh-oh.
And I'm not going to necessarily give everything about the story away.
Okay.
So I decided I wanted to have something delivered because I figured, okay, and the date that I thought that it was, I was actually going to be there. So I had no qualms about it. I was like, oh, I'll be there anyway. So great. And so turns out I wasn't. It was the day before that it was delivered. And I get a text message about 2:00 that says something's been delivered for you. I'm like, oh, damn, I'm not there. Okay. All right. Well, let me text whoever said person. Said person says, there's no package here for you. Say what? And so I said, okay. And generally, don't get me wrong, guys, I trust the people I work with. But when it comes to something you've ordered and now they're telling you it's not there, so I went into panic mode. And I'm in one of the other offices and nowhere near the one I'm usually at. So I'm like, okay. And I'm looking at every single, tracking thing. When did it get there? So on and so forth. So I got the message that it got there at 2:30 p.m. It arrived there at 10:30 a.m. Uh-huh. Okay. And I know with my place of business, generally we get orders and stuff for stock in the office and things of that nature. And generally everybody just opens everything. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, okay. I text the manager. I'm like, look, here's what's in it. It dang well better be there. And it says it was delivered. So... And literally, I'm still freaking out. And I'm like, oh, God. So finally, the person gets back to me and says, yes, it's here. It was put in this said office. Okay. You have eyes on it? It's in the office, right? Yes. Okay. Whew. So just be mindful in reference to that type of thing. If you want to have it shipped to your office, hey, great. We also have Amazon drivers who like to leave.
Let's clean that up. So basically what Tammy is saying is, if you're going to have it delivered to your place of work, kind of what I alluded to already before you went there, but let your boss know and or let a coworker know, communicate what's going on so that in the event that maybe you're out of the office for whatever respected reason, your boss and or fellow coworker, they know, and they're going to be able to communicate with you quickly.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, it's here. Now, going back to the whole, that's nothing new as far as, hey, I'm seeing that at 2:30 in the afternoon, it was delivered. And when in fact, it actually was here as of 10 a.m. That type of stuff happens all the time, believe it or not. I mean, a perfect example, I had ordered some snacks from Chicago Snack House a couple of weeks ago. And as literally, I got done coming from class, I parked, I walked the girls, and then I went outside back to the car for something. And as I was getting ready to come back into the house, the postman stopped me. He goes, sir. And I turn around. He's like, I got a package for you. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, just this one? Yeah, just that one. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it was my snacks. I remember when I got it. I don't remember the time, but I remember when I got it. He didn't mark it as delivered for about 2 hours.
Okay.
And then I see his little notation because I got the notification finally. He basically said, handed directly to resident. So there's always that little delay, that type of stuff. Yeah. But to Tam's point,
I hadn't been used to them marking it later, because generally my experiences before that is when it was here, it was here. So
I learned that the hard way when there was one time I was expecting a package and I got the alert saying it was delivered, and I'm like, well, I've been here the whole time anticipating it, and it's not here.
Right.
And when I called whoever the courier was, they were like, yeah, sometimes it'll get marked. They were like, just, you got until 8, 9, 10 o'clock, like just wait until, and if it hasn't been delivered, by then definitely give us a call back, and we'll it's like, oh, okay, cool. But definitely you got your tips. Stay on top.
I actually wanted to give one more tip.
Oh no.
It is a good tip. Now stop it.
I just don't want to be long-winded
I-
with this because I don't want it feeling like a goddamn news report.
Well, it wasn't
'Cause
going to be long-winded.
Go ahead.
So if you have something that is of real value and you are not wanting to go through any of those other channels, you guys, there is always an Amazon safety boxes at your local Whole Foods, and here, there, and everywhere. So you could always do that. That's safe and secure. You get a code, you get your package, and there's no fuss, no muss.
Depending on the size of it,
Right.
that is an option. Depending on the size of it, I've used it before. Like I think I ended up picking up some stuff from a hotel one time.
Yep.
I went to a Whole Foods another time. It
Mhm.
really just depends on the size of it, but the Amazon lockers, that's definitely an option as well. So
Yep.
as I talked about on the show Monday, I'm at the final stretch in obtaining my degree, and I am very excited for that, because basically when you break that down, boys and girls, that means only 2 more classes that I have to take, and then that's it. I get my associate's degree, but I'm not done there. I'll be transferring to a 4-year college
In the midst
institution,
of getting a job in the
respected in the respected industry.
Yes.
Right, definitely. I'm gonna juggle both. I'm gonna do radio and I'm gonna do TV news reporting. So all that while I'm still juggling the bachelor's. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because from what I've been seeing of the market these past couple of years, there's definitely great opportunities in the DC metropolitan area, but it can sometimes come down to, well, with those industries in general, it can come down to who you know.
Mhm.
So networking is definitely critical, but at the same time, one also has to not be picky, because if somebody's willing to give you a shot,
Yep.
it's kind of one of those, okay, well, what's up? So I say that to say, I don't know. I could get offered something in Jersey. I could get offered something in Philly. I could be offered something in Chicago. If the salary is right, I'm definitely game. I'm a modest man. But it's kind of one of those, you can't be, no, that's no, nah, you have to, okay, well, let's do it.
Mhm.
So, oh, by the way, speaking of that, big shout out to Craig Melvin. I almost forgot about that. Craig
Yeah.
Melvin, who's from right here
Mhm.
in the DC metropolitan area. You guys may have heard, but he has been promoted to co-anchor of the Today Show
Mhm.
because the woman, what's her name?
Kathy Lee Gifford.
No.
Oh,
The black woman that's
Oh,
stepping
Hoda.
down. What's her name? Hoda, yeah. What's her
Yeah.
name? What's her full name?
I don't remember.
Well, anyway, she's stepping down, and Craig Melvin pretty much is getting the promotion that way. So good for him.
Yes.
Very happy to hear that, because he was out
Deserves it.
here for, he deserves it. He was out here for a good minute
Mhm.
and loved his work, great reporting. So it's nice to see that he's going to be doing that. But
And he gave himself at least a third pay increase.
yeah, for sure. But it's just nice. I bring him up and everything because it's just nice to see somebody that looks like me that is making big moves, that's going on doing, and it's one of those, yes, that's what I strive to be doing, that line of work. That's what's up and everything. And it's been a great journey these past couple of years, education wise, and to pretty much be at the home stretch. It's just one of those, yeah, I'm just excited because I know that there's big things that's gonna be on the horizon in 2025. I've said off and on here on the shows, hey, this upcoming year is going to be the biggest year yet. And normally that is the case. There are key milestones that are accomplished, that they are obtained in that year. But for as long as I've been doing this show and just the career trajectory in general, when I say 2025 professionally and personally is going to be the biggest year yet. I can't speak for Tammy because Tammy's still trying to figure out. She has an idea of where she wants to be in 2025, but that's her story to tell. I just know as far as I go, professionally, personally, mentally, spiritually, 2025 is going to be my biggest year yet. And I kind of alluded to it on Monday. I'm done with fake people. I'm done always scratching other people's back, always bending over backwards for other people. That when it comes to my turn, my time of need, and they're not available, it's like, no, like bump that. I'm only interested now in gravitating towards those that not just gravitate towards me, but there is a mutual
investment.
There's a mutual investment. Yes,
Mhm.
there is a mutual investment. Because when it's so one-sided, it's like, yeah, no, because my tolerance for bullshit, as I'm getting older, my tolerance for bullshit is just, yeah, no, like, no.
Yeah, in general,
I'm good. I'm good. Like I don't need that. Right. It's like, I don't need that. I'd be better off, especially like if I'm trying to get advice on something, I'd be better off just hitting a classmate or hitting a professor or hitting, insert whatever name, then gee, it's been 3 weeks now and I still haven't heard back from, but I made sure I dropped everything when I wanted to get XYZ, when they were trying to get XYZ from, I made sure I dropped everything too. I am just like, fuck that. Fuck all that. Like, seriously, if you're there and you're there for the ride, that's great. If you're not, it's like, look, I don't hate you, but I'm not exactly going to be running to you asking how you doing.
Well, not only that, it's just, it's about the power of positivity. It's about propelling yourself forward.
Yeah.
There's actually a quote that I've heard on and off throughout the years. And it's a great quote. Basically, never take advice from somebody you wouldn't trade places with.
Ooh. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll see you and I'll raise you. The point where I'm at right now, it's basically, don't treat me as a friend when it's convenient for you.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is like, as far as I know, this is original. Don't treat me as a friend when it's convenient only for you.
Correct.
Treat me as a friend because you love me, you respect me, you appreciate me always. Don't do it when it's beneficial for you, because I can detect that very easily. And that whole saying, oh, you can never have enough friends, or there's no such thing as having too many friends. That might be true, but when you cherry pick who you want to interact with regularly, let me tell you something. Let me let you in on something. Other people notice that, and they feel that. And when you make them feel like they're less than, like they're not worth your time and investment, guess what? That's how you lose that person, especially if you didn't mean it intentionally. That's how you end up losing that person.
Well, I think it's more appropriately said. I agree with everything 100%, but you can never have enough friends, but those are genuine friends, not for fake friends.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? It's just been interesting what I've been learning these past couple of years, really. And anybody that wants to take hearing that, if anybody wants to take that personally, if you're taking that personally, then you might be part of the problem. You need to do better, to quote Joey Swoll. I love Joey Swoll. You need to do better. I don't know about the mind your own business part for this topic, but he's like, I'm just gonna leave that out. He's like, you need to do better, But talking about big things on the horizon, I'm sure you want to pick my brain on this a little bit more. One of those things that's going to be on the horizon is I have decided, and shout out to those that maybe did not catch this on the Monday show, but I decided that in 2025 I will have a boxing match. Now I know Tams is probably like, so yeah, coming back to that, about that, because like now it's been like has it even been a day or yeah, it's been a couple of days.
It's been a couple
It's
days.
been a couple of days. So you've had time to process my announcement, because Tammy was the very first person I had said this to. But if you really stop and think about it, I've planted seeds here and there for some years now.
So I laugh not at the acknowledgement, but I kid you not, there was a private conversation between me and Lee in reference to a friend of ours who decided that very thing, that he wanted to get back into the ring and he wanted to do a boxing match.
Wait, so he's boxed before?
Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say get back in the ring. I don't know. I want to say yes, but I'm not completely sure.
Okay.
So I don't want to quote and I'm incorrect.
Okay.
But basically, wanted to get in the ring, wanted to get in shape, and and I quote you. He must be having a midlife crisis. And to hear it come like maybe 2 to 3 years later and have you say the very same thing, that's what makes me chuckle. Now, on the serious part of it, I support you in what you want to do, if that is something you want to do. I think that it is nothing but a good thing because it's something that you're passionate about. But not only that, there is a certain training that you will have to do to make sure that you are healthy and can withstand and have the stamina to support what you're trying to create, which actually helps you with some other things.
Right.
So that part gives me hope. There's actually, okay, let me say this and you're going to get a chuckle out of it because I don't think you're going to see this coming from me.
Oh, here we go.
There's a part of me that is interested in seeing what comes to be in another year and to have you get in the ring and whip somebody's ass.
I love that. Well, I love how you talking to me, baby. That's my kind of language. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Women make their legs weak. Women and boxing don't mix. Oh man. No, like I can tell you guys, like, no midlife crisis going on. No midlife crisis. Like I have not looked in the mirror and gone, oh my God, Father Time's caught up to me. You're like, there's nothing of that nature going on. Like I'm being totally honest. Like, I don't feel like it's a midlife crisis. Like, if you were to ask me straight up, like realistically, like, are you having a midlife? Like, no. If anything, it's just one of those. I promised myself many years ago that something just went off in my head one day, and it was just, don't you want to leave this earth knowing that you practically did like every single thing you set out to do? Isn't that living life? Isn't the whole purpose of life challenging yourself, always trying something new each day,
Mhm.
you know, testing your limits,
Mhm.
you know, understanding this whole purpose in life and how you connect with other people, the world, and all that other shit. Not to go too deep and philosophical in y'all asses, because this is some deep shit that like you probably don't really, not unless you're like kicking back smoking some weed or whatever. But there's like certain things that just I've been asking myself these past couple of years. And so I made a promise to myself years back that, okay, get a bucket list together. Just in your head, get a bucket list together.
Mhm.
And shit that you want to do,
Mhm.
fucking do it.
Mhm.
If you're in a position and you can do it, fucking try to do it.
Mhm.
And I tell you what, the weirdest thing, because we're getting ready to talk about it, but what really set it off was the Jake Paul Mike Tyson joint.
Mhm.
And you know, we're kicking back. We're almost like Rocky Balboa and what was it, Rocky 5?
No.
Tommy Gunn.
Oh yeah, that's Rocky
Yeah,
5.
yeah, yeah.
I thought you were talking about actually Rocky Balboa.
No. You know, we're kind of like Rocky Balboa watching Tommy Gunn in Rocky 5, and we're like, no, you're supposed to like all this other stuff. And that's when it really dawned on me, man, I've been toying with the idea for years, stepping into a boxing ring. And I gave Tams I gave her some really fun insight, not for nothing, but I've been trying to do boxing since junior high. And I told the story. I won't go fully into it here on this show, because we talked about it at great length on the Monday show. But before I went into martial arts and I studied martial arts, I was trying to do boxing first. And the people that were at play at that time, it wasn't a brotherhood.
Mhm.
It wasn't the sense of, okay, well, come on, it was pointing, laughing, ridiculing, and it's, wait a minute, I'm trying to learn self-defense. I'm trying to build up confidence. How
Right.
can I do these things
With all that?
if the people that's supposed to be training me are making fun of me?
Correct. And nobody wins. Nobody wins at that point.
Right. And I relayed that to my mom, and it was like, okay, it's like, because she didn't notice. She didn't notice any of those things when we had went, and she's like, okay, all right. After I told her, she's like, okay, all right, we'll do something else. But I say that just to preface it, like, I've been interested in boxing since then, and sadly, I never was in a position with the circle that was around me of, okay, I want to do.
Well, I tell you what, I'll match you. Not that I'm going to get in the ring, guys, but if you want to go,
You in an MMA ring, that'd be something else.
yeah, okay. I don't think so, but anyway,
beat somebody into submission, to let them to beat them into submission so you can pamper them with Mary Kay.
Oh my God,
That's
a look now, isn't it?
I'll just picture you on top of somebody with your MMA gloves on. Buy my products.
Oh God, that is definitely not the look that Mary Kay would want to. Oh, look, we beat the hell out of you. Now we can make you pretty again.
Yeah.
But no, speaking of that, and I'm not going to be long-winded about it. It's really more of a point to validate your point.
Right.
As a young child,
wanna have
just
one
gotta have
No, I'm saying later. You want to have another one?
No,
I'm thinking about having one more of these.
No, you good. So basically, for me, I know what it's like, and you are so much more heightened when it's you, number one, but also you're more heightened when not excuse the French, but here's the comment in its full effect, right? You are so much more heightened when you are, excuse me, the fat kid. about people making fun of you, people talking about you, and things of that nature, where maybe someone did not notice or wouldn't notice because that's just not the world that they live in.
Mm.
But when you are there, you notice,
Mhm.
and you know when something's happening that is more of a mocking than a help.
Right. Yes, 1,000%. 1,000%. What you experienced probably as a big kid,
Mm-hmm.
I experienced as a skinny, frail kid, pimple-faced kid.
Yeah, that's true. Because it
So
definitely went both ways.
so we're two peas in the same pod.
Right.
How
Just
we were
yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, who does he think he is? You
Right.
know, and it's people are sometimes people are afraid of what they don't know or what's not in their norm.
Right.
It doesn't mean it can't be done.
Right.
So I support you 1,000%. If whatever you want to do, you know, somebody said something to me a couple of nights ago.
I gotta tell you guys, this is refreshing to hear. A lot of this I'm hearing for the first time because I you know, I thought for sure it was going to be, I don't really want you getting into the ring. No.
Well, I mean, honestly, I really don't, but I'm going to be the supportive wife. You know, and if that's something that makes you happy, that's something that you want to check off the list and, you know, do that for you, then okay.
And again, I only want to do one.
Right.
I only want to do one. I'm not going to be the only way. Let me tell you something. I'll be honest with you guys. Even if I were to lose, let's just go there. Okay, I lose my first boxing match. Would I do a second one? Because I know for some people they're chasing that dragon. They just want to get that one win, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only way I could see myself doing a second bout is if I feel that there were a lot of mistakes made
Mm-hmm.
with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've always been one of those type of people. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
Where did we go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And let's do this again.
Right.
Tammy will tell you this. I am a nut when it comes to perfection.
Yes.
So that would be the only way that'd be the only way I could see myself.
Mm-hmm.
I could lose
knowing you did your best,
knowing I did my best, and it was like, no, we went through everything.
Right.
Like it was
Mm-hmm.
perfect from this to this to this to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Right.
But if it was just like, yeah, no, I need to run that back. That's probably the only way I could see myself going, yeah, let's do that back. So I only want to do one. So my training begins December 18th.
Oh, wow. Okay.
December 18th. My training begins.
Now he's deciding to do this right before Christmas. That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, cause I gotta get the body. It's gonna take at least almost a year.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So I want to do almost a year's worth of training, all that stuff. So you guys listening, you know, shout out particularly to those in the DC metropolitan area. You want to give me some tips, give me some advice. Hell, even to those that maybe used to do some boxing and all that, you want to give me some tips, especially as far as like, hey, go check this gym out.
Right.
I know one gym I was checking out. I was thinking about going to the Sugar Ray Leonard joint. It's out in Hinesville, Maryland. But they talking about booking times, and there's something about booking fees, and then they want your ID card. I'm like, they want
it's also Hyattsville.
Huh?
It's also Hyattsville.
Oh, in case you get shot, huh?
Or just decide not to show up from your appointment.
I just feel that's gonna cost an arm and a leg. I just got the weirdest.
Possible.
I just got the weirdest feeling. It's gonna cost an arm and a leg.
Yeah. Generally, you want to trust your gut instinct. You know, the funny thing is, going back to a couple days ago, I was talking with, you know, one of my coworkers, and we were just talking about a couple things. And actually, the funny thing is, we were actually talking in reference to Lee, you know, finishing school and, you know, some things like that. And she said to me, and it was like, you know, I never thought of it that way. She said, he's getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Now, for those
holy shit, is that what's going on with me?
Yeah.
I don't like being complacent.
Right.
Wow.
You're getting comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Meaning I like.
Meaning you're willing to tolerate being uncomfortable to get what you want.
Oh, putting myself in difficult positions.
Yes, in order to get to the places that you want to be. Now, for those of you, let's rack it back.
She's
13 years ago.
She's right. Yeah.
Right? Let's rack it back. 13 years. Actually, even 14. That was not Lee Sanders. He was comfortable being comfortable.
Yes, I admit. Yes.
So
yes.
The evolution in reference to the show, and some things that have happened in these past 13 years, in the evolution of the man.
Your friend summed it up perfectly. What's her name?
That was Risa.
That was Risa?
Mm-hmm.
She summed it up perfectly. I'm really looking forward to that Christmas party now. I'm gonna give her a high five and say, you preach. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yep. We already have table reservations. We're gonna text each other when we all get there so we can all sit together and we
damn, you already did that?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Oh wow, nice. Okay, cool. I'm down. I'm down. Let's talk about this fight. I've been looking forward to talking about this fight all week. So I was supposed to talk about this on campus radio because for my final assignment for my radio production class, I've been taken to the airwaves with a rock radio show. It's called Get Rocked with Lee Sanders. And it's a 2-hour show. It airs from 1 to 3 in the afternoon. Live campus radio. I play current and past rock songs, hard rock, almost borderline metal, almost. And we got news, weather, traffic. And I was looking forward to talking about the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. Unfortunately, there was for the first show, there was a lot of issues that I just saw an email from my professor. It's been corrected. So I'm good for the
so the issues that you were having was actually with campus, not
yes, it wasn't with me. It wasn't with me.
Because he sent me a clip, guys.
Yeah.
Of what he was working with. And I it took me by surprise that you were like, yeah, it was a lot of issues. And I'm like, how? What I saw was fine.
Right.
But anyway, so now we've straightened that out. But anyway, back to the
So I was looking forward to, to the point I talked for about just a handful of minutes about my thoughts on the fight, the overall pay-per-view. And I take
minutes is right.
I take a commercial break. And one of the operator engineers, they're like, Lee, couldn't hear you. I'm like, what? Yeah, couldn't hear you. Like, at all? Like, yeah. I'm like, how long I heard your intro. I heard you talk about news, weather, and traffic. And pretty much after that, it's been dead silent. I wasn't sure what was going on with you. I'm like, oh, great.
Come on.
I got it all.
Can't hear you.
I don't know what. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway,
don't even get me started. Kids today. That's all I gotta say. Kids today. Hello, McFly. So you go first. Give me your thoughts about the Netflix event overall. Take it however you want to take it.
Okay.
All
right. So let's start at the top.
Okay.
Presentation. Great. If you
and when you say presentation, really break it down for the
that's
people.
what I was getting ready to say.
Okay, sorry.
So presentation, great. Color, way they had things set up. Hell, even the match, just displays as far as how things were laid out. Great.
Cute looking models too.
Yeah, I heard somebody. I heard the blonde got quite a few followers after that.
What about the chocolate looking sister?
I don't know. Maybe.
I hope the chocolate sister, because I was like, damn. Honey had hips and ass. I mean, the little white girl, she was all right. She needed a burger. I was looking at the sister. I was going, damn.
I'm sure you.
I like how they really had her popping up during the Mike Tyson fight. I'm going, I hope we're not doing that because there's a brother in the ring and just, you know.
That's a possibility.
Anyway.
Anywho, so basically, the presentation was good. You know, it reminded me of the boxing bouts that you would see on pay-per-view back in the 90s, maybe even early 2000s, which was great presentation, great layout, great card as far as the way it was mapped out. You know, obviously Mauro Ranallo did a fantastic job as always. It was actually kind of fun for me to have him kind of get that into the other commentator, like, yeah, I know my shit. Because there was a comment about something that Mike Tyson, whether it was a idiosyncrasy or he was trying to adjust something. So, but anywho, as far as layout and everything else, I love that part. The first match was very weak. The second two matches,
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah,
when Roy Jones Jr. and
Mauro he's adjusting his mouthpiece.
Yeah.
And Mauro's like, no, I've watched multiple fights. He bites his gloves. And he's like, well, And then later on in the commentary, he was like, no. Even Mike Tyson admitted it himself because he was asked. He's like, no, I do that a lot. It's just a thing I do. So I think that Mike had the last laugh because he went in there and he danced around a little bit, threw a couple punches, and he got $20 million.
I just like the way you said that. Yeah, you know, nigga was just bullshitting around. Not doing the motherfucking thing.
Well,
here's your check, nigga. Good job.
Right. And the way he acts, that's exactly what he acts.
I laughed so hard when I saw that executive producer credit pop up. I said, that's all you need to know.
Right.
That's all you need to know.
To the point, and I don't know if you've seen this, and I don't know if it's true. So this is speculation, but I have seen a particular document that is a scripted fight.
Lord have mercy.
Again,
don't
know how true it is.
I know.
But
well, let's deal.
It comes off as, yes, I'm going to do what I can do, and I think there was a lot of help from Jake.
And not Jake from State Farm.
And the funny thing is, it's almost now like it's a running gag, because the most recent post was the funny haha is now he's challenged Jerry Jones to a fight.
Oh,
it's like, what is this, the geriatric rematches? So, but anyway, and don't get me wrong, I was a big fan of Mike Tyson in his heyday, even to the one where he has had health problems,
right?
So I'm not taking anything away from that for him. I really do think that a lot of people were snowed on this.
Oh yeah, hands down, yes. Yes, you know, they were supposed to do this months ago. All the issues. Look, let me tell you something. The minute, and I pointed this out as soon as Mike Tyson came out, but the minute that I saw him trip up when he was coming down the ramp, I said to you, whoa, what's going on there? Like that don't seem right. And I'm seeing the knee brace on him. I'm like, I'm going, okay, look, I don't like paying attention to, but when I see props, shit like that, I'm going, you ain't 100%. Yet you're out here anyway. Okay. And then when he blew his whole load in the first bout, I'm going, that's
Mhm.
great. You can come out the gate and you're just like, what's up, young fella? And you just, you know, I'm like, okay, that's great, Mike, but this is 8 rounds, brother. Like,
Right.
you need to kind of conserve
Slow it.
some of that. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? You got to conserve some of that. And his legs just went away really
And
quickly after that.
yeah.
Especially when Jake had hit him with a couple of those body shots.
Mhm.
You're like, he never really recovered
From those.
after those body shots, because
Yeah.
then from then on he was just kind of
Stick
mainly
and move.
protecting his
Yep.
sides, you know, biting his glove down.
Mhm.
But you know, I like the way he was biting his glove, because it kind of seemed like, gee, I don't know if I should really do this.
Right. Oh shit! What have I gotten myself into?
You know, it's kind of one of those type of deals. You know.
Yes, that's exactly. And even Roy Jones Jr. basically said when I fought him 5 years ago, he said his legs were way stronger than they are right now.
Yeah. It was sad watching Mike, because that's not the Mike Tyson that
Right.
those of us that grew up on him,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what we're all accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
And look, 27-year-old Jake Paul, you shouldn't have to say this out loud, because this
Right.
should be a goddamn no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
But all things considered, with Mike Tyson's health, Jake Paul took pity
Yes, he did.
on Mike.
Yes, he did.
I mean, what we literally watched was fucking Rocky 4, where Jake and Mike is like, just an exhibition. That's all we're going to do. Just a little friendly exhibition.
Mhm.
We're going to be in and out of here. Just a friendly little exhibition, but a friendly exhibition that actually went right. And nobody
Yeah,
died. And nobody was humiliated. Yeah, well, within reason. Within reason. Yeah, because Apollo Creed died in 4. 4 was supposed to be an exhibition.
Oh, yes. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
I'm
four-
sorry.
four
Yes,
was a-
you are correct. I was thinking more of the Rocky and exhibition. I was going, no, the only expedition that word
Expedition. Yep.
he did was in 3. Okay,
At the very
gotcha.
beginning. Yeah, I was thinking about
4, yes,
Creed,
and
Creed
Apollo
and
and
Drago. Yeah.
yeah, and
You
he
know,
was not coming for no exhibition.
yeah. And I mean, Paul could have gone if he really wanted. And I tell you what, I will give Jake Paul his credit. Credit to Jake Paul, because he could have easily went in a direction of, look, I'm gonna get my money regardless.
Yes.
We got everybody's money at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna fucking, and he could have, but
Mhm.
that would not have made sense from a business
No,
standpoint,
not at all.
from a networking standpoint.
Not at all.
So the fact that Jake Paul took
Mhm.
it easy on Mike,
And he did.
that tells you a lot about
Mhm.
his business savviness. So
And his character.
and his character. So I
Mhm.
respect his hustle
Yes.
from those
I agree.
standpoints. And I think a lot of people, regardless how you may have felt
Mhm.
about the bout, how you
Mhm.
may feel about Jake Paul,
Mhm.
you got to give the man his due from those standpoints. In regards to Mike Tyson,
Mhm.
that was bad.
It was.
That was bad. Anytime you can look at the rest of the card and you go, man, sorry, but this was the worst match.
Yes.
This was the worst bout on the entire card.
Even the first one, and that wasn't real great.
That first one, which was between that first one, which was between Lucas Body, I think. Body. And Armando. Actually, no. I'm looking at the preliminary card, which was on YouTube. Not that one. Or maybe,
But while Lee's looking that up,
yeah.
in reference to the business sense, obviously it made sense, but it was also a mutual respect, or a respect that he had for Mike Tyson, and because he could have embarrassed him.
Yeah, he could have, definitely. Goyad and Nunes is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great, but it was better.
But even that beat Tyson and Paul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now there were, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor.
That was
that
good.
Was a good fight.
That was damn good. Best of the card.
Yeah, and then second place went to Ramos and
Barrios.
Yeah. That was a definite close second.
Yeah. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. As far as another boxing match goes,
I hope he's done.
Yeah.
Because anything else would just be an embarrassment.
It's funny you mentioned that. As far as boxing, yes.
Yes, that's what I mean. As far as a boxing match and trying to do what he tried to do, or do what he did 20 to 30 years ago.
So apparently they had like, I believe 180 million viewers that had checked out the bout. I'm pulling up the official number now, but it did huge numbers. It did like Super Bowl freaking numbers. It averaged 108 million live viewers globally from first bell to the final bell. And obviously you've got WWE that's paying attention to this.
Sure.
And they are it's being reported, very interested in doing a Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul match.
Yeah, well, they said
at
WrestleMania.
I mean, yeah, they pretty much. And so the idea is that Jake Paul would get involved by simply being in the corner of Logan Paul. So obviously Mike Tyson is going to have somebody in his corner that can kind of negate Jake Paul. Who on the WWE roster jumps out at you that you would like to see in the corner of Mike Tyson if they were to go? And I'll pose the question to you guys.
Too bad they don't still have Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a good one. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Jesus.
Do you go ahead? Because
I'm literally trying to just go through my head in reference to who do they have. What about Apollo Crews?
Apollo Crews. That's a very, it won't happen, but I like that. I actually like that pick. Wouldn't happen, but that's a really good pick. Main card. Great rub off. That'd be a great rub off for the young brother. Yeah.
Those would be, obviously my two picks. One is obviously it's not going to happen, but
yeah. Throw another pick. Throw another pick out there that you think, you know what? Yeah, Apollo Crews, no, but this guy, sure.
What would be funny? Like funny would be a story arc between Jake and Logan, but have Jake be in Mike's corner.
Ooh. You're almost doing a DX thing from when Mike Tyson was the referee. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels versus Steve Austin. Shawn Michaels thought he had Mike Tyson in his corner. Then in the end, it turns out he was a Austin 316 guy. Yeah. If he can stay out of trouble, name being in the headlines wise, no other controversies, oh my God, these pictures surfaced. I think the route that they're going to go in, and you guys mark my words, Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Brock Lesnar. He is a big name.
Yes, he is.
He is a big name.
He is
a big name.
And he will sell.
Him and Mike Tyson
and
the Paul brothers alone.
Yeah, he will sell. No, right. But I mean,
just their names alone.
Able to sell. Brock will be able to sell more than Mike.
Right.
Because he's physically much more fit.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
My bold prediction, I believe Brock Lesnar
and Mike Tyson.
But you have to put an asterisk. By Brock's name, because we know he's been involved in that whole
scandal,
Vince McMahon stuff. But assuming like, okay, nothing else seems like it's going to be servicing. Everything seems to be on the up and up.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. I can just see it being a case where maybe like, it's the numbers game that's constantly getting the best of Mike. Not so much from the Logan brothers, but maybe Logan Paul's little lackeys right? Because he usually has lackeys that's with him, and
Right.
Mike is able to get one on somebody, but Father Time's kind of caught up to him a little bit, all this other stuff. He puts in a phone call, and we find out he's got like some mystery backup or whatever. Turns out it's Brock Lesnar. I can just it writes itself beautifully, perfectly,
Yeah,
and you've got that great crossbreed partnership collaboration between TKO, WWE, UFC, and Ari Emanuel is a big fan of Brock Lesnar, always has been.
Yeah.
So any way that he can somehow get Brock Lesnar back into the mix, incorporated with this new era in the WWE, oh yeah. I mean, it writes itself so perfectly. Whether you want to go now, look, I'm gonna say this to people too. As far as what I think is ultimately going to happen. I would be shocked to see Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson 1-on-1. To the point, I don't see that. I see WWE being very smart. I see them being very smart in looking at what happened with Mike at this Netflix event and going, no, we need to make sure that we're protecting him, and we're protecting him very well. I see it being a tag match. The Paul brothers, and to your point earlier
he
about
needs someone to show,
right,
as the Brock Lesnar, as someone who can do the work. Yeah, he can get a couple of jabs, and versus because you're looking at two really young people compared to, so you're going to need somebody that's in the middle that's going to be able to work the match.
Correct. And if you really want to make things interesting, I'm trying to think of the name of that other fighter that WWE, Tyson Fury.
Yes.
If he ends up being available, you can even do something with Tyson Fury, especially if maybe you want to have him be a special guest referee.
It would be interesting to have Rock as a special guest referee.
It would, but we know he's not going to be.
No.
Yeah, we know he's not going to be in that. Yeah, he's for something else. Yeah. But going back to the event, I know a lot of people had experienced a lot of issues, and just to hear what was going on with folks that was trying to watch that event in real time,
for the audio,
I really felt for them. It was much worse than we heard, because apparently there was a lot of buffering that was going on. Apparently there was significant buffering that was going on during the first hour plus. So basically when you tried to check it out live, nothing was loading, and it's like, whoa. And then the audio issues was apparently much worse than
you're testing the power of your bandwidth.
Yeah.
Because all those people logging in, how much can we stretch it? So that's probably what happened
with Netflix. On Netflix's end, on Netflix's end, most likely, because when you stop and think about it,
108 million people.
Well, not just that. Let's take it a step further. You know how many events Jerry Jones's AT&T Stadium has done? You're thinking about just the Dallas Cowboy games alone. It's safe to say that from a technical standpoint, as far as at the actual arena, you most likely had you most likely have, from a production technical standpoint, the same amount of people that's there, the same staff and number of people that's there for those NFL games is probably, safe to say 90% of what was used for the fight. And so really a lot of this falls on the shoulders of Netflix.
True.
Because this was really one of the first times that they did a live event, a live sporting event of this magnitude.
That's true.
A boxing event.
That's true.
And of this magnitude.
That's true.
So, but to hear that it was just royally that fucked up.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're able to learn and quickly, quickly adapt. Because if they're going to try to do it again.
And the funny thing is, it's funny, not funny, but we were talking about, myself and Lee, as the matches were going through, but boxing isn't as prevalent as it used to be back in the 90s, early 2000s, even early 2010s. Um, because you just don't see it like that. Yeah, I mean some middleweight classes, dark matches, things of that nature, but no like heavy hitting. Like when we were growing up, it was always Tyson and Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard and said person. Hell, even Tommy Morrison and said person. You had those bouts, but you don't hear of those type of things like you once did.
Now,
at least not for me.
Now, if I were to be devil's advocate to what you just said, I would counter by saying, well, are you really going out of your way to see what's been happening in the boxing world?
No.
It's so interesting because some of my constituents in the podcasting world, I've never heard them talk boxing like year after year after year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
And when Mike Tyson, this event was coming around, it was like
getting into
right. And like I had said on the Monday night show, anybody that was covering it and they were attacking it from a marketing standpoint, going, hey, I know there's going to be eyeballs, that's going to the results, the this. Hey, you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be coming on though, just to be talking about, like, actually be coming on, because you're marketing wise, you're trying to take advantage, right? You're trying to no, because you'll have some people like, and they know who they are. You'll only have some shows that will just pop up from like out of nowhere, and then you'll never hear from them again for like that whole fucking year, or or whatever like that, right? But then you got those that's like, well, look, I don't talk boxing, but this is kind of a big deal,
thing.
Right? This is hot, and I gotta ride this trend, right? Marketing wise, I gotta ride this trend, right? I respect that hustle. They got to get their shit together though if they're gonna do this again. Speaking of events, interesting as we kind of switch gears a little bit. I would like to imagine that Vince McMahon probably watched that, and he's probably making notes, because as we had talked about here on the show, reports are that Vince McMahon is looking into starting up some type of a production company. Has nothing to do with the wrestling business. It kind of comes off as if they're going to be some type of a financer, if you will, for
for sports entertainment,
fiction, non-fiction projects. So
that sounds like an interesting thing.
I can't help but wonder, because I go back and I think about Mark Shapiro, the COO of TKO, say that 10 times fast, who talked about having breakfast with Vince McMahon a couple of weeks ago and everything. I just can't help but wonder, so when Vince McMahon gets ready to do this endeavor that he's getting ready to do, like, is he gonna get a little bit of a rub there from Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro and crew? Or what does his future hold as far as Netflix goes? Is he maybe going to be able to make some deal with Netflix and have some of his projects on there as well? Like, what exactly, it's just a whole domino effect and a combination of what ifs that could be down the pipeline. That's kind of one of those wait and see, but I would like to imagine he looked at what happened with that event and
got ideas.
I would like to imagine he's probably getting some ideas.
I would say, in reference to ideas and financial backers, I think we can possibly talk about the topic. Is that what you wanted to talk about with Linda McMahon?
I was getting ready to go there until you, because I had the transition nice and set up without literally going there, but you revealed my hand. Linda McMahon. She boy, you fucked that up.
Oh, shut up.
You fucked that up for me. I'll just being all quiet about it and shit. And I'm trying to slide it on in there. But no, Linda McMahon Linda McMahon apparently is making the news in a couple of ways because, see, I had a really good transition set up, and now that threw me off, and now I just got to throw it out there. Bless you. Now I just got to throw it out there raw. Two things in regards to Linda McMahon. Number one, she's making the news because she apparently, per her lawyer, revealed in a recent interview that Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon have been separated for several months now. So
Mhm.
anybody that has gone through a divorce or two or three, you know that you can't just be given a divorce
Right.
just off the break. There has to be a legal amount of time of
Mhm.
separation. So that's for starters. Now, whether or not Linda McMahon is actually going to initiate that divorce, that remains to be seen. Only time is really going to tell. And I hate to sound cliche. I hate to sound cliche about that, but I just recently saw an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and it was earlier today, as a matter of fact. And there was a husband that was trying to do everything in his power to get his wife to give him a divorce, and she refused to do so because it would mean that she would have to give him access to X amount of money, her money that she worked hard for. And she's like, no, my dear, you're worth more to me alive and we're still married than apart. And I won't spoil it for you guys, but she got hers at the end. That's all I will say.
Mhm.
So you just can't help but, if you're Linda McMahon, that is a very interesting position that she's in, because I'm sure she's exploring her options
Mhm.
and is going, okay, so what do I do here? Because truth be told, she is entitled to half
Yes.
of everything. So does
Yes, she
she?
is.
So does she pull that trigger? You know, and the fact that we have yet to hear anything in regards to Linda McMahon and okay, so what's going on here? Is she gonna go on ahead and pull the trigger and get that divorce? Um, or like what's going on here? It's very, very. I gotta tell you, as long as I have been on the air and the Linda McMahon news, what's going on with their marriage, right down to the point when we were looking at the Vince McMahon documentary, we're going, man, of all the things to explore, can we learn more about how they've been able to stay together for all these years? Can we learn more about what makes Vince tick? Can we learn more about Vince, the man behind the character, from
Mhm.
Linda? And the brief little bit of screen time that we had of Linda, there really wasn't anything offered.
No.
How old was Vince when he first met Linda? I think he was what?
College?
No, 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 no. Age wise,
Oh.
I think Vince was what? 19, 20,
Yeah.
21, and Linda
Mhm.
was 15, 16 or whatever.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of one of those, wow,
Mhm.
just interesting. It's just a whole lot of stuff that just, huh. So this really
Mhm.
comes off for show.
Mhm.
Okay, well, now that we know, allegedly, gotta make sure you use that word allegedly, that Vince McMahon and his sexcapades, his disgusting sexcapades, and all that other crap, how can you continue to be Linda McMahon
Mhm.
and still be associated with this guy? And I don't want to hear, oh, for the money. No shit, she's getting the money, but my whole point, she could be getting even more money. Like, at this point, with her name and with everything that she was trying to accomplish in regards to her dreams, her aspirations, especially politically, because let's talk about that. It looks as though President Trump has picked Linda McMahon to be the head there for the Department of Education. this brings up a very interesting question, which is just how much of a background does Linda McMahon have to even be in this position? Is she even qualified to be in this position? And that in itself, I'll let you guys do your own research on that one. But when you look that up, you know, there's a lot of stuff in there that would suggest no, she does not have the credentials uh, to uh, to be in that position. There's a really good article that was put out just a couple of days ago by the Independent. I would definitely recommend you guys check it out. It's by Rion Lubin, who did a fantastic job in breaking down Linda McMahon's credentials, while also noting the fact that when she served on the Connecticut Board of Education for a year, going back to 2009, after stepping down from WWE, allegedly she talked about how she'd been a lifelong advocate and had interest in education and once planned on becoming a teacher. Like, okay. And then she also spent some years on the board of trustees for Sacred Heart University in Connecticut. That still isn't quite enough. After the news of her nomination broke, the National Education Association claimed that McMahon lied about having a degree in education when she was nominated to the Connecticut State Board of Education. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea what's going on. You look at what happened with her predecessor, Betsy DeVos, who
Had
just,
to step down.
I mean, she royally fucked that up big time. McMahon has no, just like Betsy DeVos, McMahon has no background in public schools or any understanding of what it takes to help students and everything. So what does this come down to? I don't want to lose you guys, but like that's just some of the bullet points there. What does this come down to? Well, I'll tell you what it comes down to. It is safe to say that in regards to this new position that she's going to be embarking in, she basically paid the admission fee to be part of Team Trump, right down to the point. Something else that, and I think it was Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics. If it was him, shout out to him. If not, just kudos to whoever had put the information out there. But there is a spreadsheet that's going around that shows X amount of money that Linda McMahon put up, not just for the Donald Trump campaign, but also for a lot of battleground states, for a lot of Republican states, where she was trying to make sure, hey, let's go win this. For just the Trump campaign alone, $10 million, and then in some instances for the states, 20,000, but the norm was 10,000. So we got 10 million for Trump's presidency alone. And then my God, you just add up the other stuff. Maybe it might have came close to $100 to $200,000 more that she did. But she essentially bought herself a position with the Trump campaign, for lack of a better term. So I'll let you guys marinate on that one, but let's see what happens. Maybe she's gonna do something that Dr. Oz and all those other people that are put into these positions, that maybe they're gonna do something. Wow, that's cool. That's I'll tell you what's funny though. Going back to McDonald's, let me tell you something. I don't need no motherfucker telling me what's healthy and not healthy. Talking about taking away my goddamn box of Captain Crunch cereal. Talking about how unhealthy it is. And there's a picture of him floating around eating McDonald's with the president-elect.
Mm-hmm. And Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk.
Somebody else.
And somebody else. Oh, Trump Jr.
Oh, yeah.
I see you. I see you, Junior. Not Trump Jr. I'm talking about the other Junior.
Right.
Talking a good game. talking to good. He had a look on his face like, oh shit, this will go out on social media. It's like, yeah, it is, buddy. It is.
Mhm.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say? They gave you a vegan McDonald's gave you a vegan option? Like bullshit. Come on. Oh my god. So interesting little drama that's going on there.
Hmm.
Comcast. This is gonna upset some of you guys. And I don't see a lot of people connecting these two, but this kind of gave you all a warning. We talked about it right here on this show a couple of years ago as well. Do you all remember when I brought up the fact that Comcast, YouTube TV, a couple of other streaming outlets, there appeared to have been some issues, and there maybe was going to be a blackout if Comcast wasn't able to sit down with some of these folks and
Mhm.
ink out a new deal? That means you would lose access to Telemundo, you'd lose access to the Golf Channel, you'd lose access to NBC, your local NBC station, MSNBC, all those NBC, Comcast, Universal affiliated stations,
Mhm.
right? Now we fast forward, and guess what? Comcast is talking about breaking stuff up. Here we go. That whole monopolization crap that's going on here. They are talking about breaking into two separate companies. So you got company one, which is keeping the Comcast name, and that's going to include Comcast legacy broadband, cable, wireless, hardware operations, along with the Universal movie studio and theme parks, NBC News, stuff like that, Peacock streaming service, stuff like that, right? So it looks like, again, Universal Movie Studio, theme parks, right? So you got all this weird stuff that's going on there. Meanwhile, Peacock streaming service, Bravo cable channel, Telemundo, MSNBC, USA Network, it looks like all that stuff is going to be falling into a company called Spinco. Spinco is supposed to include CNBC, MSNBC, USA Network, number of other cable channels. So this move that's ultimately going to be going down comes as a result of Comcast trying to do everything it can to capitalize on revenue, consumer revenue, and they think that the best way to obtain this is by doing this type of monopolization. I am not a fan of this because ultimately what Comcast is betting on, that consumers are going to be willing to pay more for broadband and internet access by pushing more content from NBC. I mean, it's really weird how they're trying to do this, because it's like, okay, we got you for the internet and we got you for, but if you want to get access to these channels over here, this is going to be part of this package plan. So on top of your streaming internet service, yeah, this right over here is going to be separate. I would imagine they're going to offer some type of a bundle deal, but I'm just thinking about some people out there that's like, well, Lee, I don't watch Telemundo. I don't give a fuck about Telemundo. I don't watch the Golf Channel. So I don't care about the Golf Channel. Lee, I don't watch CNBC. Lee, I don't watch MSNBC. I only care about USA because I can watch SmackDown and Raw, or for the time being, or insert whatever, right? So as a consumer, it breaks my heart to hear this, because I think there's too much of a monopolization as it is.
Yep.
And I agree wholeheartedly with consumers out there that's like, why can't I just pick and choose exactly what channels I want? So if I want USA, I want my local ABC, NBC,
CBS.
da da da. I want Turner Classic Movies. Why can't I just pick and choose what I want. And as far as my overall bill goes, those respected channels that I'm getting, all those guys, whoever they're connected to, they get their money that way. Why can't I just have it that way? My answer to you, I agree with that 1,000%. I would like to believe that in 2024, if we can have same day movies streaming on whatever app, right? We now are in a position where we don't even have to wait like 3 months for a blockbuster movie to
be released
digitally
right.
and all that. Yeah, 2024 and beyond. Yeah, why can't we choose our? Because guys, simple answer, that's too much damn power.
Right.
See, that's too much power to be giving you guys. Because if the big tech companies were to give you that, what you're asking for, they would be losing out.
Correct.
On so much revenue.
Agreed. I mean, you partly have that a little bit now, but they're subsidiary companies that are a part of a bigger company, like Hulu, like Netflix, like YouTube TV, those and then FRNLDY, those type of things where they're kind of like a hub that's underneath the big company. So yes, it is coming a little bit to the pick and choose, but I don't foresee that you will ever have to come a day that you will actually be able to say, on this, I want this, and that. You may be able to get that, but you're going to pay a hefty price for it because they have to make up the money somewhere.
Yeah, they have to.
But honestly, also think about it. All these companies that you have on your streaming services. You have Netflix. Okay, Netflix is somewhere between $20 and $30 depending on your plan. Hulu, okay, $9, $10, $20. YouTube, $30 to $70. You know, and each HBO Max, $9.99 a month. If you really truly add that up into you picking and choosing from those companies of where you want to watch said whatever, you're looking at spending somewhere between $100 to $200 a month.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yes, we have that, but as I was just stating, you're going to pay much more for it. And that's, you know, honestly, it's unfair. And that's what this Comcast merger is. You know what? We're going to split up. So now you actually can't get everything you want under one umbrella. So now if you want said service and this said service, and they're under two different companies, you get to pay more.
Right. I tried to, when I talked about this a couple of years ago, I tried to condition listeners. I said, look, make no mistake about it, Comcast, Universal, and a lot of these other guys, they're looking at this stuff. They don't like what is going on. They don't like these deals that they're getting because they feel they should be getting much more money. A lot more money. You know, because we're in this whole streaming era and everything. And I said to you guys back then, this ain't done. They're gonna go back to the drawing board. They're gonna figure this out as far as how they can really monopolize this and break this up, because they don't want to be tied down to, you know, why should I continue to work with this party when the pie is so much sweeter when there's less division? Right. So, you know, if it's 40-60, well, shit, I want that other 40. I got to continue to be greedy. I ultimately want you know, the whole pie. So that's literally what they're doing. As far as my prediction goes, because remember, guys, I used to be a market research analyst. I was a recruiter and everything. So I stayed on top of trends and all that stuff, data analytics and everything. My prediction is that this is going to take some time It's going to take some time. Comcast will get their money, but at the same time, it's going to come at a price. I think even more consumers are going to be alienated. And as a result, in a day and age where a lot of Americans are already cutting the cords, this is really going to set them off to the point of going, okay, well, you know what? I can just do without it unless it's a live sporting event. Maybe I'll go check out Hulu Sports, or I'll just go to my local bar.
Right.
So
many people
honestly,
have watch parties now.
Right.
Just for that, share the cost.
Right.
Or they're getting their news off of their regular streaming, not streaming, but their regular, sources of information.
Right.
Be it right or wrong, X, Facebook, Instagram, all of those. To some of them, obviously, that are giving you, hey, this is who passed. Hey, this is, what have you. But yeah, like you said, they're cutting the cords because it doesn't make sense. With a world that is rising cost in everything, it just, at what point is enough going to be enough? And I don't think we'll ever see a day when that's going to be the case.
I mean, if you were to tell me, not if you told me this, oh, I'm going to lose access to MSNBC. Oh, whatever will I do? You mean I won't be able to watch Rachel Maddow, Morning Joe? I won't be able to watch those anymore. Whatever will I do? Late at night, I want to watch a Spanish movie or a game show. Oh my God, I'm going to lose access to that. Whatever will I do?
Yeah.
I will be just fine. If anything, I think where I kind of push back on it a little bit is, wait a minute, I'm gonna potentially lose access to my local NBC affiliate.
Right. And that's what I was getting ready to say. Some of these right now, it's like, oh, well, whatever will I do? I mean, yeah, okay, fine, I can deal without that.
Yeah.
But what about that channel that's underneath that network?
Yeah.
That you don't have access to. All right, perfect example.
And the rippling effect that it'll have on those shows.
Correct.
Yeah.
But saying this is a perfect example, and this happened quite a few years ago, but it's the same concept. We both, meaning myself and Lee, loved TV One.
Yeah.
And we would watch it avidly.
Yeah.
And
it's a network, folks.
It's a network. That it's a black network that's in the DMV. So we love the access, we love the shows. It got to the point where satellite and cable providers were not able to acquire it because they couldn't come to a deal with it. And I remember a couple of times actually switching providers because I could get access with that provider. Then, fast forward 6, 12, 18 months, it became to where it was phased out except for maybe one provider. And you're like, yeah, but so then you're like, okay, do I really want to have access? And then it became, well, it is what it is.
Created by Kathy Hughes, responsible for creating the Quiet Storm on Howard University's WHUR. Just kind of give you guys full context. Look her up. Good story.
Yeah, for sure. So, and you just become to the point where, okay, can I do without it? And that's where some of this is going to go. Can I do without it?
It's gonna end up being like, it's gonna fall into the trend of, oh, new season of Law and Order. Okay, yeah, I'll get the little subscription just for, and as soon as it's over, I'm done.
And especially now with all full seasons being released at the same time.
Or you're gonna have people go, oh, well, rather than be tied down month in, month out, I'll just wait. To your point, I'll just wait until the entire season becomes available to watch in one sitting through this app, and then I'll go check it out that way.
Exactly. And or I'll
So is it safe to say?
I'll get it for this month because I can just binge watch.
So is
And
it?
then that's it.
So is it safe to say, y'all, that this move, we're most likely going to see a significant decrease in viewership for whatever shows, new shows that might be out there? Is it safe to say?
Depending on what the network is.
And in this case, we're talking about Comcast.
Comcast, meaning like a MSNBC. I don't think right away, because that is a news affiliate, and it's a major juggernaut. So do I think they might see some down numbers? Maybe. I don't think it'll be a huge dip. Now, down the line, maybe.
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Remember this. I believe I'm going with my gut instincts, and my guts is usually on point here. Dick Wolf just inked a new deal for all of his Law and Order shows, right? And I think that's probably got like about 3-4 more years. Here's my whole point. A lot of those shows that's on NBC, it costs more and more the longer that those shows are on. Yes. And it costs more and more to make those salaries.
Right.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't do this type of monopoly and think you're going to continue to bring in. There's going to be some cutting to make up. And I feel that some of America's favorite shows through that whole Comcast Universal network, I feel there's going to be some casualties.
True.
To my point, look at what's going on with Law and Order Organized Crime. That's already been moved to Peacock.
Right.
Okay. So, as you know, we love that show, but let's be honest, since they've moved it to Peacock, we haven't watched one episode.
Well, actually, let's be honest with our schedules and the way it is. We actually don't necessarily have time.
True.
To actually go through all of every, Law and Order.
Right.
But for me,
that's because we know the redundancy of
let's be, for me,
yeah,
let's be truthful. I actually like organized crime because I've always been a big fan of Mariska Hargitay and Christopher Maloney.
Yeah.
So I actually like those shows. Now the main Law and Order and some you can miss me with that. But here's the problem that they're going to have. Unless you come up with content that gets, asses in seats at some point or another, what would be the draw for someone to purchase your network? So you water this down.
Oh, I get you.
Water that down.
I get you.
I
think that's a consideration, but we also need to look at Starz is a good example. Look at what was happening with those power shows. The longer those shows went,
the less people were interested.
No.
Oh, okay.
Listen, the longer that show went, have we not learned anything from Omari Hardwick? The longer that show went, the more that he felt, yo, what you guys are paying me, I'm not getting my just due. Right. That is the unfortunate, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, that's true.
The longer a series goes, the more expensive it gets, the more expensive production gets. And I'm not just saying this, people. Like I've been learning television and film production this whole semester. Okay. If I can get away with telling a particular story, and I can do it with a young, undiscovered, up-and-coming cast, and I can just pluck a veteran actor from the original series and build the young folks around him so that eventually I can do another spinoff that
Right.
won't include that OG character, and I can keep going with my underdeveloped cast,
Mhm.
and I can keep production costs and all that relatively low. That's what I'm gonna do. Stars is a great example of that. When Omari Hardwick started realizing his worth and tried to go get it,
Mhm.
how did they repay him? They killed his character off. And they
Mhm.
said, no, you know what? You ain't the beat. No, we can do this without you. And they rolled the
Mhm.
dice. And to their credit, they were able to do spinoff after spinoff.
Mhm.
Now
Right.
another fucking spinoff. So they were
Mhm.
able to do that, and they were able to do it with new youngins
Mhm.
and all that stuff.
Yep.
So, you know, if you are Comcast, you're noticing shit like that, and you're going, okay, all right, cool.
That's true.
So there's gonna be casualties as part of this. Now, I'm not saying immediately shows like Law and Order, all them joints. I'm not saying immediately they're gonna get the axe.
Yeah, because they have to fulfill the contracts that were just signed.
Correct. But what I am saying is newer shows.
Right.
Like, don't get it twisted. Eventually, the veteran shows, especially when they're coming up for that renewal period, they're definitely going to be scrutinized. They're going to be evaluated big time as far as, okay, what have you done during this time frame with your contract re-up?
Yep.
Have you grown from here to here to here to here? And if they haven't, depending on what series it is, okay, look, we're only going to commit to one more season,
right,
and we're only going to give you this many episodes. I think there's going to be a lot of casualties from because in this day and age, a lot of the networks, to the point of what my professor and I were kind of noticing, a lot of these networks, they're doing more and more and spitting it out there, low budget production shows.
Yeah. And it's almost like, let's see what sticks.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I don't like this. I think it's I think there's going to be a lot of casualties. I think it's going to fail. I think they're going to end up reverting back. I think they're going to end up reverting back to, remember when CNN tried CNN Plus? That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. And CNN Plus, it didn't even make it 60 days.
Wow.
It didn't even make it 60 days. Yeah. Chris Wallace, I remember he had like an original show that was supposed to be one there because they had like just acquired him. They were like, oh, we got Chris Wallace. Well, we'll just put him behind the CNN Plus paywall, and you know, he's a respected name. He'll bring us the viewers, all this other shit. And man, when they put a whole lot of money into that, marketing, all that, they put a whole lot of money into it. Out of the gate, that shit flopped. That shit flopped like a mofo. They looked at those prescription, not prescription. Yeah, they need a prescription after that. No, they looked at those subscriptions. They pulled a Lucy.
Right.
and it got pulled pretty quick. So we went over by about 35 minutes. That's all good. Let's call it though. A lot of good stuff to talk about. A lot of good stuff that we covered here just now. I keep forgetting to show them the Negan bat. So true story. I ended up getting a Lucille bat from The Walking Dead. Negan from The Walking Dead. I got a replica a bat up on eBay. No, Amazon. I'm sorry, up on Amazon. It's bloodied and everything. It looks so badass. I keep meaning to show it off on the stream.
I wouldn't.
No. Just to show them how it looks.
Sure.
Right.
Can you imagine if it slips?
To Tammy's point, the reason why she's saying that, like,
it's sharp as fuck.
This ain't no foam.
No,
right?
This is not replica. Yes, it is a replica on something. On some ways,
it's almost an authentic replica.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, if you want to bash somebody's head in, you can do it. You can if you want to have your Glenn moment with a home intruder, you can do it with this one.
Correct.
They took a real bat. They took some real barbed wire. Only thing that's not real is the red blood. So we hope it's fake blood. That's
Right.
cow blood. But yeah, it Tam's got nicked really bad.
Well, I wouldn't say really bad. Thank goodness,
Did you draw blood?
Yes.
Well, then that's bad in my book. That's bad in my book. It wasn't like, it wasn't like I said, come here. Yeah.
Well,
you barely touched it and you drew blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So that's bad. I want to show it off though. I think it might end up being a 2-person. Maybe we can have you come in like Vanna White. You can hold the box while I pull the bat out. And then
I would say wait and see what Santa Claus drops off for you.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Hint. I'll take that. All right, cool.
And we both can rest assured that we're not going to have our blood on the bat.
Yeah, I've already drawn blood once. That's that's not good. That's not good. Let's get the hell out of here. Be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads. Once again, we got the 13th anniversary edition of the RCWR show available right now. You got the full watch along and post show webcast edition that's available on YouTube and the other outlets. Speaking of the YouTube, make sure you show the YouTube channel a lot of love. I did the Jerry Cantrell I Want Blood album review. You guys have been killing it, representing, checking it out. I got the standard version that's up. And you guys been showing love to the HD version. I initially was trying to do the HD version. I thought that's what was uploaded, and no. So I went back and re-uploaded, and you guys been showing both of them some love. So go check it out if you didn't check out that album review already. It means a lot. Check out previous episodes you might have missed. By the way, I am now on, just because I like networking and I like testing out new waters. I don't like being complacent. I am now on Blue Sky, the social media app. So make sure you follow me on there. It's at the RCWR show. Very easy to find. Give me a follow on there for the next little bit. I'm pretty much doing a follow for follow. I normally don't do that. I don't care about follow for follow, but in this case, it's like, you're showing me some love. I'll go ahead and give you a follow on there as well. A lot of people, a lot of celebrities had ended up flocking over to it, especially once the election results came in. It's now the #1 social media app, where Twitter is now, like, last I heard, which was a couple of days ago, Twitter is now at 20. Oh, sorry, X is now at 25. Yeah.
Well, blue skies. Nothing but blue skies.
From now on. I'm not gonna do like some of these celebrities. Look, real quick. I ain't gonna do like some of these celebrities. Well, I didn't get what I want, so I'm gonna just leave this and I'm just gonna go over here because I'm mad. No, I'm gonna go, oh, that's popular? Okay, I'll check that out. Let me see what that's about. I'll work that into my other social platforms as well and see what what's going on and test the waters and all that other good stuff. But it just tickles me seeing motherfuckers, I'm leaving. It's like, well, first of all, I don't care about your political affiliation and whatever. First of all, but if you're gonna leave, why announce it? Just leave. It was almost like they're saying, hey, look at me, I'm leaving. Like Mark Hamill made a big deal out of the elections. He's like, I'm leaving. You're like, well, go. You've been talking about leaving forever. Like, just go. Just do it. Like, if I got a problem with a social media platform, like, I'm not going to make any announcements. I'm just like, if anything, I may say something like, hey guys, it's not as fun as it used to be. I'm scaling back, I'm mainly on this other one. So if you don't have that, I can understand if somebody wants to roll that way. Okay, cool. I get that. But oh, I'm leaving. I didn't get what I want, Joe. I'm leaving. It's like, well, just leave. Like, you don't need to make an announcement. Just leave. Vincent D'Onofrio. I love the fuck out of Vincent D'Onofrio. He's done that a couple of times. It's like, dude, I love you. If you're gonna leave, leave.
Right.
Right. Who's another one that's like, I'm gonna leave, and they're still, I think Stephen King, and there was like somebody else. It's like, wait a minute, didn't you say you were gonna leave? And yet you're still, let's go, like, come on, like, man, you clickbaiting like a motherfucker. You just clout chasing. That's what that is. You're clout chasing. Like, just do it. Don't make no announcement. Just go.
Right.
So Blue Sky, the RCWR show. George Clooney. It probably was George Clooney. It probably was him. I don't know.
Jimmy Kimmel said he was leaving as well after the 20th.
Now that the lie detector determined was a lie.
Ah, fake news.
Don't believe everything you see on social media, people. I saw that too. Somehow it popped up and I said, as I always do, wait, did he actually? And then I went and I tried to verify it, and I successfully was able to verify it. Fake report. That it was just comedic satire from the original source.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you guys may have seen there's a report floating around that Jimmy Kimmel said that he was going to quit the show, go to Canada once the Trump presidency. And when I read that, the first thing that I thought of was, well, wait a minute. Jimmy Kimmel just inked a new deal with ABC because initially he was going to retire. I think sometime within the past 2 years he was supposed to retire, but then he decided, no, you know what? I want to stick around. I'll do this a little bit longer. And what helped him make that decision was when he was in COVID. And so that's when he was, yeah, no, I'm gonna stick around a little bit longer. So first thing I thought of, at least, I don't know how other people thought about it, but the first thing I thought of was, you can't just, you're in the middle of a contract. You can't.
That's true.
I challenge this. I don't think this is accurate. And then I went from there and I was able to, I'll give you guys a good site. If you ever need to test something out, or maybe you want to send something somebody's to these people's way to get them to verify, go to Snoops. Snoops always, yeah, legit. No, not legit. They do a fantastic job. Especially with like stuff that's kind of trending and all that. They do a phenomenal job of letting you know if it's a bullshit story or not. I love those fucking guys, but fuck Jimmy Kimmel. Fuck Jimmy. Who's the other one?
Fallon. Fuck
Jimmy Fallon. Fuck Stephen Colbert. Who else is running? Fuck those guys. I just, it's not funny. I grew up on Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, Arsenio Hall. Fuck, even George Lopez was funny as fuck. Howard Stern.
Yeah.
This current breed of late night talk shows,
watered down,
is bullshit.
Yeah.
How about less politics before motherfuckers go to bed and more haha?
Agreed.
More haha. I miss jaywalking. I missed the fuck out of jaywalking. I found myself saying that the other day. I was like, where the fuck is jaywalking? I got these people right here. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? What's your name? Where you from? Yeah. Okay, good. So you what do you think about the new Taco Bell Nacho Supreme? Huh? You think it's good? You gonna try it? You gonna try it? You know, I miss jaywalking. You know, and then David Letterman with his stupid little, these were real ads.
Oh yes, yes. And then the play on words where somebody had a fucked up typo.
Yeah.
I think that was Jay Leno.
And then Carson would do the Houdini bit.
Oh yeah.
He would guess whatever.
Yeah.
Open up the envelope. And you got Ed McMahon. Yeah.
Right.
I miss that shit, man. It's gotten too political, and then when it's not political, like when these talk show hosts, when they think they're playing to their hardcore strength, which is the politics, the mighty politics, and they try to go for something that's non-political, the shit is flat as fuck.
True.
It's not funny as fuck.
True.
If I could have it my way and I had a magical wand right now and I can just go, okay, I can change the face of late night TV on all the networks, race, age,
Right.
like they're not deceased. Okay, go. Who you got? Give me Paul Mooney in his prime for one late night talk show, one late night talk variety show.
That's gonna be on the Late Late Show.
Give me Dave Chappelle. Okay, give me Dave Chappelle. Give me Bill Burr. I love her. I don't think she really gets a fair shot, but she's funny as fuck. Wanda Sykes.
Yes, she is.
Wanda Sykes.
Yes, she is. Doesn't she have a new special that she just did on Netflix or something?
I believe so.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to watch that.
Give me something with Wanda Sykes
She's funny as fuck.
and Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer is funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is how I would change the whole late night.
Now, wouldn't that be a shakeup to actually do a woman host as in late night?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes would be funny.
Well, you know, NBC, they tried something with this, either she was multiracial or she was a Muslim or an Indian. They tried something with this YouTube sensation a couple of years back.
Oh, I think Carly or something.
I don't know, but it just
flopped.
Yeah. They tried. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I'll say this as we close out. The future of late night, give it about less than 10 years. I think it's gonna, because it's more cost effective, to go back to what we were talking about earlier. These late night with Jimmy Fallon's, Kimmel's, those are very expensive, especially when you get the writers and all that. When you can just look at a YouTube show, wait a minute, you're getting over 1 million.
Right.
You're getting 750,000 to a million plus viewers every time you do a stream, every time you do a upload or whatever, a live join or whatever. Mofos pay attention to that, especially with the fact that you've already got built-in sponsors. How you think ultimately Pat McAfee got what he got with ESPN?
Oh, yeah.
So the networks are looking at stuff like that, and they're going, okay, it's like
that's a piece of the puzzle now. It has to be.
Yeah.
For going into hiring talent.
Yeah.
Especially if they've got, something that they're already working with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes all the sense in the world.
Exactly.
Because that's a precursor.
Yeah.
To what it's going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark my words. That's the future. That's the future. NBC tried it. Didn't quite work out. They obviously got to go back to the well.
Right.
But give it about 10 years. You're gonna see those fine little tweaks. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But if I could change late night TV, that is how I would definitely give Monique a talk show. A comedy, a comedy show, comedy show.
They tried that. Remember, she had a show.
Really?
Yeah. On BET.
Oh, well, that's your first problem, BET.
Well,
now see, if it would have been TV1, she probably would have had a better shot.
I'd have to look and see which I thought it was BET, but I think it's BET.
I'm pretty sure it was BET.
Yeah,
would have been better on TV1.
I definitely remember watching a few episodes with her as host. And she was decent.
If he was still with us, Charlie Murphy would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Charlie Murphy.
Yeah. So
the sad part, the sad part about Charlie Murphy, just when motherfuckers were starting to know who he was, just when it was getting good, and he was finally like, now he was getting to the point where you're not Eddie Murphy's brother.
You're your own person, right, with your own name.
Right.
Yes.
Because I got to admit, for his stand-up, I was like, I liked his shit a lot more
than Eddie Murphy.
Than Eddie. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Eddie's good. But Charlie was really, Charlie would have been great.
Yeah.
Charlie would have been great.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Dave Chappelle joint where Charlie Murphy
I think you showed it to me. Didn't you?
recounts Prince beating his ass in a game of basketball, and after Prince beat his and his team's ass, he served them all breakfast. He made pancakes.
Oh Lord.
I gotta show. I
don't know that I've seen that.
I gotta show that to you. You got Charlie Murphy just standing there with a straight face. Tell you, man. Story true. The nigga whooped our asses. And he's just going through it, and they got Dave Chappelle dressed up, purple and shit, and he's doing the whole spin. Got the spatula, and he's hooking up the pancakes and shit. And Charlie's like, "Hey, Prince, man, this is a good breakfast, man. Thank you." And then Prince says, Dave Chappelle, Prince says some shit like, "You niggas ain't got no game." It was like it was the funniest shit, man. The Rick James joint was good too. The Rick James joint was good too.
You showed me.
I know I showed you the Rick James joint. I know I showed you the Rick James joint. Yeah, but they really need to shake it up.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
I can tell you for myself. I remember a time, Letterman, Leno.
And listen to all those names I brought up. I didn't notice. I didn't single out one particular race. So I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you're being." I included white people. I included all the genders. Right. So like, there's like a really good wide variety that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that here we are in 2024 going into 2025, and when you look at all those networks, it really just comes off as just the good old boys.
Yes.
That good old boy system. And until we get some new blood, like our generation that slide into the executive positions, or our kids that's coming up,
right,
and or their kids, until we get into that position of okay, that's the only way that monopoly is going to be shaken up.
True. Now, I wonder how much of a factor the instant gratification plays a factor in that, because you have all these shorts. You have YouTube, you have this, you have that, you have the other, and the attention span of what we were growing up with, myself and Lee and our parents, and maybe even the generation behind us. Yes, we could sit through a whole show and and enjoy it from start to finish. But now it's like, okay, well, it's clips, it's Facebook, it's YouTube, it's this. Is the attention span there to keep a show like that for 10 years, 15 years down the road?
The clips definitely help, because our current ecosystem, a lot of people let's be honest, our show, for example, our shows that we put out, we will have people that will either scrub through episodes to find the sweet spots, or when we put the timestamps in there, and that's kind of part of the reason why I've kind of cut back on putting the timestamps, because one is very tedious, but then two, I like when people go out of their way and they're actually listening to the shows, because when they comment, I know exactly based on where, okay, they listened up to this point, it seems this is where they are. So that it gives me a good idea where, but in this day and age, to your point, yes, the clips, that is definitely popular. But I also think that, it's funny you mention that, because I think the future of these network talk shows and all that as well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some type of a condensed version. So, for example, all those talk shows, they last an hour, right? Well, what if we just did something where for the first 15 minutes, we showed you highlights from this show? And if you want more, then you just go on social media, you find either more clips from that week's
To
show
do the whole.
and or watch the whole episode. Well, what if in that hour block I show you 15 minutes from this one show, I show you 15 minutes from this other show, and then I fill out the last 30 minutes by rinse and repeat, versus no, we're gonna have you sit through just this one long joint where honestly 25% of it is boring, 25% of it is good because of who the guest is, the 25%, you know, maybe because of whoever the musical guest is, and then, you know, whatever that last 25%, I don't know, maybe that's the monologue and all that other, you know, bullshit. But what I could see some type of an experimentation like that.
Some of that's happening now
on a network,
not on a network, but it is another point of outreach, because some of those clips are going on Facebook. I don't know about the other ones, because I will be honest with you, I am, you know, Facebook, and
I
that's
can
it
help
for
you
me.
out. I can help you out.
But
it is going on YouTube and the others.
Yeah. So you have those quick clips.
Yeah.
Okay, this was good. Yeah. Let's put it on the, internet sites, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, whatever. So that it gets you more access versus, okay, well, you have to be there to watch it.
Right.
So to basically come at your rebuttal is some of it's already starting to happen as far as short clips from maybe a 75% boring show.
Right. But what I'm saying is for the networks
to actually start to do that convincing.
Yeah, I think the future of late night, I think it's going to consist of something very similar to what I'm talking about, where what you're seeing on social media, that's gonna bleed over. I'll give you a prime example. Think about when the Mythical Morning guys have finally appeared on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is a pretty big deal when you're able to. I mean, look, just think about the current day and age that we're in right now. It's funny, we weren't even supposed to talk. We're supposed to be done with the show, but think about the Mythical Morning guys. And as much as I don't like these guys, not the Mythical Morning guys, I think they're awesome, but AJ, the Costco guy, and his whole family, and look, there's a lot of controversy with that. A lot of people feel the father is exploiting the hell out of his kids. He's got them doing some. There's some controversial stuff that's in there. Say what you will, but the fact that this guy is able to get on the Jimmy Fallon show,
right,
and the fact that AEW, don't even get me started on that AEW just poorly, not on top of the marketing and all of that. It's just how do you fuck that up? I mean, it's free press. It reminds me of that episode of Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. Tim, it's a house, it's for you. Look, I got the keys. It's like, I mean, literally, it's on a silver platter, it's waiting for you. Like, they just fucked that up. But like, you see that, wow, some of the social media influencers, wow, they're able to get on network TV. And so, like, yeah, if you are okay, let's look at this from a television production standpoint. Okay, you got to guess. That's great. Oh, it's a social media influencer, so it works both ways. Okay, that's great. But guess what? You could be looking at your replacement.
That's true.
In the years to come.
That's true.
So it's kind of like one of those,
That's true.
And if you are the network and you're all about, I want
cost effectiveness.
I want to make the mighty dollar. I want to, maximize X amount of revenue and all that, okay. Jimmy Fallon, man, I got to give this motherfucker 200 and I'm just putting a bullshit number out there. I'm probably way off. I got to give Jimmy Fallon $250 million. That pretty much is going to cover him for 5 years. Meanwhile, I got the Costco family people over here. Man, look at all the stuff that they're doing. Look at all the views that they're getting and everything. And they're able to do all of this on a budget of, I will say, I'm just gonna put again bullshit number out there. They're doing what they're able to do with a budget of $500 to $1,000. Fuck, let's sweeten the pot. $3,000 out of an entire month. And they're getting this many views. They're getting, I need to try to see if I can do something with them. Let me do some experiments just to gauge the viewership.
Absolutely.
Okay, and each time I have them, and this is how it is, folks. This is how it operates, right? You're not gonna get this type of on other shows. It's pretty much just gonna be, you know, this person won this match. Subscribe. Okay, so you got to pay attention to those analytics because, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about the data.
Yep.
Right? It's all about the data. It's all about the clicks. It's all about the engagement.
That's making me money.
Right.
That's putting money.
How do you think John Cena ultimately got in the position that he's in, particularly with the guys on NBC? All those times that he's been able to co-host the Today Show and, you know, whatever. Heaven forbid something happens to one of the Jimmys. And, you know, John Cena's like, yeah, I can come in and substitute for the whole week. Sure, no problem. How do you think Cena ultimately, that's because they looked at the analytics. They looked at how his appearance did. They're able to see the retention of, okay, where did we start to lose people when Cena, you know, did this segment get any better or did Cena help make it even, you know, what? They pay attention to all of that. And eventually that is how you get to the point of, okay, this is what works. We want more of this. And apparently we're not the only ones that feel that way. America has spoken. So again, it goes back to the whole Jimmy Fallon, you know, especially, Jimmy Fallon wants to play, or Jimmy Kimmel, whichever fucking Jimmy Crackhorn, I don't care, Lil Jimmy, whatever. They want to play hardball. Okay, well, we'll get AJ, the Costco guy, and his family as your fucking replacement. That's what we'll do. Oh, you're gonna go to ABC? Go, okay, bye. We'll be just fine.
Right, but the only way that they're going to give two craps that you're going somewhere is if those numbers are through the roof. Then that's when you can start commanding a paycheck of what you think that you're worth, because you are bringing in the numbers that is making them the money.
True. Very true.
But if they can get someone in for a cheaper dollar amount and get almost the same amount of views and the same amount of money, same amount of retention, oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%. That was fun. I didn't plan on us going into that rabbit hole. That was a fun rabbit hole, though. All right, so you guys got bonus content. I mean, if you look, pick my brain on television production. That's like, I know so much insider information now and all that, really largely thanks in part to the class that I've been taking this semester. I have a completely from writing shows to creating budget proposals. What's the process message that you're trying to send across to the target audience? You know, how you gonna film it? Are you doing single camera, multi-camera, like anything television, film production? Like, I know so much about that shit. It's just really fun to learn the inner workings. I'll tell you a lot more behind the scenes and everything. But that's it. I'm gonna spend this last little bit doing a little bit of house cleaning and feeding and walking these furry little girls as they are. Fun story. Fun story. Luckily, we're knocking on wood, she's fine. But one of our furry daughters, Precious, wifey decides she was going to go to the store. You know, nice. Got us a couple of dinners. And I said, oh, you got some crap there. And she had like a 4-pack thing of brownies. I said, oh. And, you know, one thing leads to another. The girls were supposed to have their dinner
after he did the show.
After I did the show on Monday.
And generally they eat
before
3 hours prior to that.
Right. But this go round, well, you know, Precious decided she wasn't going to wait because she waited long enough. There was a pack of brownies.
And these were not small, mind you.
These were some
These
hearty.
were I would say 4 by 4 squares.
These were some hardy ass brownies.
And it was a brownie with like a cookie on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had the
whole
plate.
Whole joint. I come downstairs. I'm like, what the hell? And I look at an empty container that's on the floor. I'm going, oh, it looks like maybe somebody forgot to put this in the recycling bin. And I pick it up and I go, well, wait a minute. This looks very familiar. And I go, no, it can't be. I look on the table. And then I go, well, no, my baby put the brownies in Tupperware and she probably put it in the microwave or in the bread box. I look, no. Well, hey, she put it in the fridge. That's what she did. She put it in the fridge. I'm tripping. I'm gonna have me some milk and I'm gonna have me a brownie right now. I pour me some milk. I open the fridge. I'm looking for the brownies and I go, son of a bitch. She ate the brownies. Precious ate the brownies. I go look for Precious, not to discipline her or anything, because now it's like, okay, is she all right? Because as some of you guys know that's done your research, you know, the toxicity levels and all that in brownies, it's bad for dogs. So I go and I go find Precious, and Precious just has this big old belly. I mean, she looked like she's about ready to pop out a litter. And she's just laying on her side like, what's up? You know, and had the nerve, because that's when I was trying to feed the girls. She had the nerve to want to eat
with the other two.
Yeah. I said, no. And only thing for the past 48, almost 72 hours now, she's been running to the bathroom. Not number 2, surprisingly. But speaking of number 2, I have yet to see her, at least when she's been with me for walks. I've yet to see her since the brownie incident have a bowel movement. Has she had a bowel movement for you?
No. So
if she's having a bowel movement, she's probably doing it out back and we don't know about it.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Yeah. Otherwise, that's some serious she constipated.
Yeah. So yes, she said, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all taking too damn long and I just feed myself.
Yeah. I'm just glad she's okay, but yeah, just seeing that belly protruding for a day and a half, and then she knows how to jump up and down on the bed. So from when the night that she ate the brownies, I will be to laugh, but from the night that she ate the brownies, and denied.
My ass is too
heavy. Pull over, that ass too fat. She's beautiful and lovely Tammy Lee Sanders here. Get us all throughout social media using the keywords the RCWR Show. Don't forget we're now on Blue Sky as well. Wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. We'll see you guys next go round. Howdy else, y'all. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving and bye-bye.